Right, Ms. Matias, we are live. We are recording. You may proceed with this morning's emergency declaration.
Good morning. This is the New York City Board of Standards and Appeals. Do I say, or review session, public hearing? What?
Today is Monday, January 26th, 2026.
Good morning. This is the Board of Standards and Appeals for January 26th, 2026.
All right. Before we start our hearing, I want our General Counsel, Vine, to read out the declaration that would enable board to meet fully remote during the snowstorm.
Good morning. So as we can all see, the board is not in person today. Part 3 of Section 2 of Part WW of Chapter 56 of the Open Meetings Law has been modified to allow the board to make a determination if during a state disaster emergency declared by the governor or the mayor, the board determines that the circumstances necessitating the emergency declaration affect or impair the board's ability to hold in-person meetings. To that effect, on Friday, January 23rd, Executive Order 57 was issued by Governor Hochul, declaring a state disaster emergency effective January 23rd, finding that the winter storm is, quote, expected to cause hazardous conditions posing an imminent danger to public transportation, utility service, public health, and public safety systems throughout the state, and may result in road closures, travel disruptions, widespread power outages, and damage to public and private property, which poses a threat to public health and safety. Given that there is a emergency declaration order issued, the board may determine that the circumstances necessitating that emergency would affect or impair the ability of the board to hold in-person meetings, and therefore the board meeting shall continue to be held entirely remotely, and the in-person participation requirements of the open meetings law shall not apply. This declaration would be in effect until the earliest of either time that the governor ends that state disaster emergency based on the weather, or the board concludes that the circumstances necessitating the emergency declaration would no longer affect the board's ability to hold the in-person meetings. So with that, I'd ask that the board make a motion to hold in-person, to waive the in-person meeting requirement and to hold remote meetings.
Okay. I make a motion to grant.
Chair Shanda,
Aye.
Vice Chair Shabeta,
Aye.
Commissioner Otley Brown,
Aye.
Commissioner Shetta,
Aye.
Commissioner Yoon.
Aye.
So this motion has been adopted. This resolution will be issued forthright. The board will take a brief break and then will conduct its regular calendar for January 26th entirely remotely.
And what will be the brief break? When are we resuming our hearing?
At 10:30.
10:30. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Counsel General Vine.
Thank you.
Yeah, let me, hold on. All right. Seems to.
Okay, good morning, everyone. Ms. Matias, you may proceed with this morning's public executive review session.
Okay. Good morning. This is the New York City Board of Standards and Appeals review session for January 26, 2026. Please be reminded that no public testimony is permitted. We are 100% remote today. The first item up for discussion is deferrals. Item number 1, 2024 10BZ, 1679 63rd Street, Brooklyn. Adjournments. Item number 2, 269 13BZ, Volume 2, 110 West 73rd Street, Manhattan. Item number 3, 2024 41BZ, 105 39 Cross Bay Boulevard, Queens. Sorry, give me 1 second. Item number 4, 2025 09BZ, 1616 McDonald Avenue, Brooklyn. And 2025-35A, 5012 Highland Boulevard, Staten Island. Postponements, 2025-2049 BZ, 637 West 50th Street, Manhattan. That's postponements. Decision items. Excuse me. Item number 7, 22702 BZ, 527 East 233rd Street, the Bronx.
Okay. We just received an email, a correspondence between our BSA project manager and from the community board. We were waiting for the community board vote. It seems community board did not have a quorum and therefore was not able to give an official opinion. However, the email correspondence, which has been shared with the commissioners, states that community board did have concern about the driveways located near the bus stop. So again, due to the lack of quorum, could not officially give an opinion. So just in terms of the timeline, this application was submitted back in September 19th of 2025. Community board had since September till now to hold a hearing. It is unfortunate that we are finding out about it now in end of January. But I do want to remind everybody that this is an application for an extension of board's term and an extension of time to obtain a certificate of occupancy. And the applicant is not proposing to make any changes to the current layout or to the operation. This is a layout that was approved by prior boards and was and the proposal is not changing anything. So I personally don't think we should hold our decision, but I want to hear from the commissioners as to the way if they want to proceed with the hearing or they do want to hold the decision, or they want to wait for the community board. Vice Chair?
Chair, I agree with you. This is an extension of something that was previously approved. So I do agree with your sentiment. I also think that the community board has had the statutory amount of time to respond by and hasn't done so in that period of time. So I think we can proceed without question.
Okay. Anybody else want to add to it? Do you feel the same way as Vice Chair and I do? I see Commissioner Otley Brown's shaking her head in agreement. Okay. If you all agree with that, let's then review what was submitted. Yeah, sorry, go ahead, Commissioner Yoon. Were you going to say something? Oh, no, okay. So we did ask the applicant to make a revision to the plan, and it does show that there is a 6-foot wide walkway, and the width of the walkway has been identified, and a note has been added regarding keeping the walkway clear for handicap accessibility. So I am satisfied with this submission. Did everybody have a chance to review, and are you all okay with the corrections? Okay.
I'm satisfied.
Okay, good. Then I'm going to make a motion to approve a 10-year extension of term and a 2-year extension of time to obtain the certificate of occupancy with the following condition: that the building walkway shall be clear of all obstructions in order to maintain at least a minimum 4-foot wide clear path for travel for handicap accessibility. Motion to, is everybody okay with that condition? Okay. Motion to approve.
Chair Shanda,
Aye.
Vice Chair Shabeta,
Aye.
Commissioner Otley Brown,
Aye.
Commissioner Sheta,
Aye.
Commissioner Yoon.
Aye.
Application has been granted. Item number 8, 2023-11 BZ, 1008 Banner Avenue, Brooklyn.
Okay, we need to reopen this case.
So motion to reopen.
Motion to reopen.
Chair Shanda,
Aye.
Vice Chair Shabeta,
Aye.
Commissioner Otley Brown,
Aye.
Commissioner Sheta,
Aye.
Commissioner Yu.
Aye.
And we need to reopen it in light of the WRP comments that we received. And the site is in a flood zone and the board needs clarification regarding the evacuation plan and that the building would meet the Appendix G for a daycare operation. And the applicant, I think there were a lot of questions that were raised by in its review of the WRP. And as I went through the notes and the response, I found the response from the applicant was inadequate. And so the applicant needs to revise and provide more clarification regarding the comments that were raised for WRP. Commissioners, do you want to add anything? Okay. Let's move to the next case.
Carlos, Mr. Costanza's hand is up.
Yes, go ahead, Mr. Costanza.
Yes, no, Madam Chair, just to clarify for the applicant, so they need to address compliance and adherence with the requirements, right, of the flood?
Yes.
Requirements. We're not waiving anything.
Yeah, we are not waiving anything, and for the board, I think we also need the assurance as to the nature of the evacuation plan and how this would be addressed, because the ground floor, there are classrooms on the ground floor, and so we need to know that.
Thank you.
I believe for now they need to discuss the evacuation plan.
Yeah.
But the actual compliance itself, it should be reviewed and decided upon by DOB. So we should have this standard note, which we usually put it for residential uses, but for this case, because Appendix G doesn't just apply to residential, it has some provisions that apply to other types of uses. So we should be putting this or asking the applicant to add this standard note to the plans as well.
I think we need to be a little bit careful, and this is the part that I myself, and this is what the applicant also needs to clarify. Ms. Prenga's hand is up. I think you're going to say the same thing, but since you have a little bit more insight, I'll let you say some that. Ms. Prenga.
Thank you. I just wanted to state we did have the applicant add the flood zone note to the plans.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
The only thing I do not know if there is any change in the flood zone requirement, if there is any difference in the requirement for a building with a daycare facility versus an as of right use that would be permitted in the C8 zoning district. That is one part I do not know, and the applicant needs to clarify that. Like, we know there's a different set of flood zone requirement for residential building versus non-residential. I do not know how much of a distinction the flood regulation makes between a community facility such as this as opposed to a standalone community facility or a medical office or a commercial office, which is permitted in a C8 district. Because please note, this building is built, and it was built for an as of right use. Now the proposal is to convert it to a use that is not permitted in a C8, and it's a daycare facility. So that is one part of the discussion that the applicant needs to elaborate and discuss very clearly, and with that, an evacuation plan. Is that helpful?
It's fair enough.
Yeah, thank you.
Move on.
Yes.
Item number 9, 2025-11BZ, 1681, 1683 42nd Street, Brooklyn.
We just received revised set of information and I believe revised EAS. So since we are at hearing, we will not have the time to review it. I recommend that we do a second call on this decision application for tomorrow morning. This will give the board the chance to review the submission. Okay. Thank you.
Item number, sorry. Item number 10, 2025, 25BZ, 2456 Richmond Avenue, Staten Island.
Okay, sorry, my screen just froze. We need to defer it. The submission was incomplete. Right. Yeah, go ahead.
Special order calendars, sorry. Special order calendar, continued hearing items. Item number 11, 118 53BZ, 106 5762nd, sorry, 160th Street.
Okay. This is a continued hearing. We still have not received any update from the community board.
I
So-
reached out to, I'm sorry, Madam Chair, I reached
Okay,
out
go.
to the community board. I asked them again about this application, gave them the information, sent them a copy of the application form and the statement, and I have received nothing. They said they would speak to their DM and,
Okay, this application was filed in August of 2025. This is for an extension of term for a continued operation of a retail store. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Matias, for reaching out. We did receive proof of continuous use. Site plan has been revised and the statement of fact has been revised and it responds to the comments that were raised. It outlines the hours of operations and the various pickup hours. And based on the information provided, it seems deliveries are made both through the rear entrance where possible, and like for example, for the liquor store, the trucks that delivering its product cannot access the facility. So in such situations, the delivery is made from the curbside. Signage note as indicated on the plan may be misleading because as all combined signage on the storefront, on each storefront must comply with zoning resolution section 32-60 and not just the store name as indicated on the plan. So please take note of that and put a note saying that the board is not waiving signage regulation and it shall comply with zoning resolution section 32-60. Those are my comments. Vice Chair Shibata?
just Madam Chair, I have a question.
Sure.
So at the last, if I may, before you speak to the other commissioners, or you want to speak to the other commissioners first?
Please go ahead, Ms. Matias.
Okay. At the last hearing, there was the discussion back and forth about, they had to make deliveries in the rear. And the applicant had said they were delivering in the front at the beer place, the liquor place. So that's a condition. You had, I believe Commissioner Watley Brown had suggested maybe an amending the language. But my question, and I put it in my notes, is would he be required to file an amendment, or is it just something that we'll put on the resolution?
We can put it in the resolution.
Okay, so no amendment.
Yeah, I think this can be an exception of situation because we are not amending it. We recognize that the rear yard is being used for delivery for most of the other uses, except when a vehicle making these deliveries cannot. So
Okay, good.
I think that would be the best way to handle it.
Okay.
I will let Commissioner Otley Brown weigh in on that since this was a question raised by her. But let me start with Vice Chair Shibata.
Thank you, Chair. I too was satisfied with continuous use. and the hours of the operation. I have nothing, no other objections to this project.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner Otley Brown?
Yeah, I have no objection to it not being an amendment.
Okay.
So I'm absolutely fine with that. It simplifies the situation for them. And also, I just want to say that they have included the square footage of each floor, of each store on the plans, and that's another thing I'd requested, so I'm fine with this.
Thank you. Commissioner Shetta?
Thank you, Chair. I asked them last hearing how they gonna tackle the violations. That they have 3 violations, and I didn't see this covered in the revised statement of facts submitted. That's all
Yeah.
what I have.
They said it was gonna be the responsibility of the owner.
Yeah,
Yeah, that and the other thing is they could not locate a physical copy of the easements, which I put in my notes, and the other, what was the third thing? Oh gosh, the fence or something? I forgot now. It's in my notes. I don't have it in front of me.
Did they say that on the record during the hearing, or they
In the
said it?
Yeah,
in the
statement,
they
they
did say
said
that
the
they were
owner,
at
the
the
owner will
hearing.
take care of the
Yeah.
violations.
yeah, it was stated at the hearing.
Yeah.
Oh, but it's not. Yeah, I'm talking about the statement of facts. That's why I didn't see it in the statement, the revised one. I mean, that was submitted this time. But yeah, that's
Yeah,
okay.
because they have to also take care of the fire department things too.
Okay.
Okay, Commissioner Yoon?
Thank you. Just to tag on to that comment, in my review of the statement, they did talk about the 3 open ECB violations, stating that it would be the responsibility of the new grocery store tenant, but they did not talk about the FDNY violations. I had requested a change to a typo in the statement of facts that states that the most recent grant is a date in 2002, but the statement of findings and everywhere else shows correctly that the most recent grant was in March of 2012. I have a couple of questions. Last hearing, we talked about the state of the gate and the fence. That is a condition of the prior resolutions, that those would be maintained in good condition. And at the last hearing, the applicant stated that they would repair the gate and show us evidence of that. And I didn't see that in the submission.
The photo, yeah.
Also, because we talked about generally, there's overgrown, the fence is overgrown and the area needs to be cleaned up. And I didn't see evidence of that work happening. And then I didn't pick this up last time, but so I'm just going to share my screen. Which screen do I want to share? This one. Okay, so you are seeing this photo of the rear. So back here, there's these roll-up gates,
Mhm.
and those aren't shown on the drawings. It seems like it's on the subject site property, but it's difficult to tell. I'd asked for more photos of the rear, and I didn't see that in the submission. In the
There's some
plans,
photos on the plans.
there are photos, but you don't ever see the backside of the subject site. You only see this view from the street, and you see this view of the kind of nook in the back, but you never see where the back of the grocery store is. And then here you can see these are shipping containers, which look, I'll just keep zooming in. I'm just trying to figure out what's actually back here. So these are shipping containers, which appear to be different than these roll-up gate sheds. And so it would be great to get a set of recent photos that shows what the actual site condition is in the back, because that's what's abutting the residential. And then the other thing that I didn't realize is that here's the back of the site. This is the photo of this cinder block shed, but we don't have any photos of back here. And you have this whole series of walk-in coolers and a receiving area. But when you look at the previously approved plans from 2012, there's just a receiving area that is labeled as a like an a covered receiving area with a gate that's a permitted obstruction. And so I think we need to understand that this is a change here and that there's a series of structures in the back on the proposed plan that are different from what was approved previously.
Good catch. Okay,
Um,
so the applicant needs to provide more response and more information, as Commissioner Yoon pointed out. Anything else? Those were good catch.
I think that's all I had, and now I'm just trying to get out of my screen share.
Okay.
Where is my button? Sorry, give me a second. Da-ba-da.
So if the applicant, you're listening in, there is a change in the site plan from what was previously approved to what is existing. At the hearing, please come prepared to provide an explanation as to the nature of the changes, and these changes need to be reflected as reflected in the plan. We need to see the photos of the rear lot conditions and the site improved. I do remember this discussion from last hearing where the applicant was asked to make these improvements and it has not been done. Those need to be done before the board votes on it. And you also need to revise the site plan and the statement of facts. And if this is increasing the degree of non-compliance and waivers, you need to explain that.
Yeah, Chair.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to thank Commissioner Yoon. I saw the in the statement, the revised statement submitted, they actually responded to my comment regarding tackling the 3 open violations. However, the way I look at things, I usually do a PDF search, and I did speak about this before. I asked the applicants and our PMs that if somebody's submitting a PDF, it should be searchable, it should be readable. But this one, it's not, and tons of PDFs actually are like that we get, and some of them are really large. And when I understand that we can transform the non-searchable one to searchable one by using the AI component in the PDF reader, but it takes time and it takes storage. So please, applicants, when you submit a PDF, make it searchable and readable. In other words, when I put the word violations in this PDF, it tells me that there is nothing, but the word is there. The reason for that is the PDF is submitted as a photo, as a picture, not a document.
Okay, I want to go back to the comments that Commissioner Yoon has raised, and as I'm looking at the prior board approval and what is proposed, prior board had a fence, and what now we see these are structures. So this adds to the FAR, to the floor area. It changes the degree of the compliance. So you need to go back to the drawing board, revise your statement of fact, and lay out all the reasons and why this is needed and how this does not alter the findings of the prior board. If you have any concerns regarding as to how to go about it, please reach out to our project manager or to our executive director regarding this. It is a significant departure from the prior grant. Okay. Any other question or comment on this? Okay. All right.
Move on.
Yeah.
New cases under the special order calendar, 4499 BZ, Volume 4, 194 Brighton Avenue, Staten Island.
This item actually, the lineup needs a little correction. This item was scheduled for December 8th and it was postponed because of failure to meet the hearing notice. So at that last hearing, we had read out a lot of our comments, and I'll get to that. We did receive proof of initial filing and hearing notice. Community board has voted to approve this project. This is an extension of term for a continued use of an automotive repair shop, which expired in February of 2025, and a waiver of board's rule. Photos are showing incorrect property line. I just want to take out I just look at the folder. It's kind of, the property line is kind of hovering over, so it seemed, oh, actually I was looking at an old one, so this is a new one. So no, I take that note back. So I would say I'm somewhat disappointed with this submission, because the application lacks information. It includes only photocopy of submissions from the last approval of the board made in 2011. So, for example, the radius diagram is a photocopy of the diagram that was submitted back in 2011. It does not represent the current land use condition. So the applicant needs to provide a radius diagram showing the current land use condition. And that is because the board, every time it's an extension of term, board is reassessing the existing condition based on the surrounding context. And if any modifications or improvements need to be made to the subject site, that would be needed given the changing context. Same thing with the proposed plan. Applicant needs to submit a new set of plan. The plan set that has been submitted has been provided. It's a photocopy of an approved set of plan as of April 21st, 2011. Similarly, as I said, the radius diagram, the revised plan must include signage note regarding compliance with C1. The plan shall include 5 parking spaces for vehicles awaiting services, and needs to add a note to the plan that these parking spaces they are for vehicles awaiting services. The applicant needs to stripe this parking spaces on the site, because while it seems the site has been improved, but it's an empty shell. There is no operation happening on this site, and I don't see anything that is striped here. So indicate on the plan, indicate on the plan the existing exterior lighting poles and lighting note as typically is recommended by has been recommended by the board. Since I also do not see a compliance note analysis. It has not been provided. Applicant needs to list prior board conditions and identify whether they are being met or not. Just listing it is not adequate. Applicant needs to provide signage analysis for each street frontage. Landscaping does seem to be in good condition. And assuming that the photos that are submitted are recent site photos, I think I was looking at it, and from Google Street View of 2024, the sidewalk seemed to be in disrepair, and I wanted to know if that has been improved, but it's not clear whether the curb cut width along Brighton Avenue has been reduced from 40-foot width to 30-foot width as was required by prior board. So why I'm disappointed even more so today is that I did read out the shortcomings of this application at the last hearing, and I hope that the applicant would review the video and make the necessary submission at for today's hearing. All we received was a type 2 checklist, and has not received anything. So I would strongly, I did go back to the video to make sure if those notes were, if these comments were read out. They were at 46.50 minutes, if you go to the board video. And the information that the board is seeking, has asked for, it's very standard. and it is clearly outlined in the BSA application portal. And such incomplete application submissions only delay the response from the board and delays board's deliberation timeline. And this is what the board tries to avoid, and that's why it lays out very clear outline of submissions that need to be made on the BSA portal. So I have to say I'm disappointed with the submission. Vice Chair Shibeta.
Thank you, Chair. I have nothing to add to that.
Commissioner Otley Brown.
I agree with you that this submission was not a complete submission. And I just wanted to add one thing. You did say that 5 parking spaces were required, but the zoning analysis says 7 parking spaces were required. And regardless of which number it is, it needs to be shown on the plans. And of course, it is not shown on the plans. So I agree with you that the applicant should definitely resubmit a very complete and thorough full accounting of what's going on with this site, especially if they want an amendment to remove the term, because we need to know that they are absolutely in compliance.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, I am at this point not inclined because I don't know what's going on. And the photos that were submitted dated 7/28/25, the site looks completely empty and doesn't seem to be used. So I'm not even sure what's going on. Okay, Commissioner Shetter.
Thank you, Chair. Yes, I agree with you, Chair. But if you look at the, like you said, if you look at the aerial photos from 2016 through 2024, you can clearly see cars parking randomly on site, and especially against the adjacent residential on the west. So this is something that's concerning to me. That the site need like some work, some striping to know who's gonna park where. And in addition to I share your comments regarding the submission and incompleteness of the submission. So hopefully they will tackle that soon. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner Yoon.
Thank you. I had a lot of similar comments to yours. And I think that the only thing I wanted to add is I also was looking at Google Maps, but the Cyclomedia has a series of photos from September of this year that I'll show really quick. That does seem to be consistent with the photos that the applicant submitted from July. And so you can see that the sidewalks appear to be in good shape as of September. But I had the same question as you about confirming the reduction of the curb cut width because the plans show it as still proposed. And I have nothing further to add.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Next case.
Item number 13, 2019-168A into volume 2, 140 Fulton Street, Manhattan.
Okay, we haven't received a community board vote. We did
This
receive.
is an extension of time.
Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry, my bad. Okay, so this is an extension of time. And the applicant is seeking this extension of time to obtain a CO for a mixed use building on the subject site located in the bed of a map street, for which the board had granted a GCL 35 waiver back in November of 2029. And the applicant is also seeking a waiver of board's rule. So back in 2019, board had granted a GCL 35 and a bulk regulation waiver pursuant to 7201G. And at that time, board had put a condition that the construction be completed by 4 years, which means it expired back in 2023. The applicant has provided a very clear reasoning as to the delay. There have been a change in ownership, and the present owner purchased this property in 2025, and the present owner is proceeding with the project and has outlined a timeline and anticipates that the construction will be completed and a TCO could be issued by 2029. I would though say, being familiar with this site as we all are, since our office is nearby, this is a pretty complex site, and there are train lines running right along under the Fulton Street. So I'm not sure whether this I'm sure it would require a lot of coordination with MTA and others. So I think regardless of the term limit, this project needs more time than 4-year proposed. I further would say that going forward, we really should not be having any term limits on GCL 35s. And so I would be fine to have to remove this condition of the board and grant the applicant to proceed their construction. Vice Chair Shibata.
Thank you, Chair. I do agree with you. They did a very good job at showing their financial difficulties, which included a foreclosure and the new ownership on October 14th, 2025. They set out an appropriate timeline. I also do agree with you on the GCL 35. I don't think that as a rule, we should put any timeline on it. Of course, it's important that we let the buyer know that this is at their risk and make a record of that. But as a general rule, I do agree with you. I don't see a reason to have a timeline on to have a deadline for this, and I'm okay with this application.
Okay, thank you.
May I don't know if general counsel can correct me or not on this. I thought we put the term because of the 7210G.
No, it does not apply.
Okay,
The text is written, it does not apply.
Okay,
I've had this discussion with General Vine.
yeah, that's what I was like. I
General
know we had a
counsel Vine,
discussion,
yeah.
yeah.
No.
Okay.
Commissioner Otley Brown?
I agree with the chair and the vice chair. The process should be streamlined, and it should not be made more onerous for the taxpayer, or not the taxpayer, the applicant, sorry. So I'm in full agreement. I have no questions.
Okay. Commissioner Shetta?
Thank you, Chair. I have nothing further to add.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner Yoon?
Thank you. I also agree. I have, the only thing I had was a typo where the statement of facts under BSA resolution history cites section 9123. I believe that should be 9132. Otherwise, I have no comments.
Okay, thank you.
Appeals calendar, new cases, item number 14, 2023-25 BZY Volume 2, 36 West 66th Street, Manhattan.
Okay, we received proof of initial filing and hearing notices. Committee board has voted to approve this application. This is an application pursuant to zoning resolution section 11-332 for a renewal of lawfully issued building permit on June 7, 2017 for the development of a 39-story residential development on the subject site. As you are all very familiar with the history of this project, I will go straight to what is before us. It has been established that the building permit was lawfully issued by prior board, and prior board actions from October 30th, 2023 also recognized that the building was vested pursuant to 11-331. An applicant had 2 years from the effective date of the text amendment from May 29, 2019 to complete the construction by May 29, 2021 pursuant to ZR 11-331. Construction period was tolled from the date due to judicial proceedings, which expired on April 28, 2024, and building permit can be renewed by BSA for up to 2-year term pursuant to ZR 11-332. So BSA had granted the first extension of term on October 30th, 2023 for a 2-year term, which expires on April 28, 2026. The subject, the current application, this version of application was filed on October 27, 2025 to renew the term for a 2-year period from April 29, 2028. To April 29, 2028, pursuant to ZR 11-332. This would be the second renewal request. So we have to make the findings pursuant to 11-332. Board has to find that substantial construction has been completed and substantial expenditure has been made subsequent to the granting of the permit. As evidence from the photos and from all the documents that has been provided, not only is the superstructure complete, but a lot of the interior work is complete, well beyond 90%. So in addition to, I think we received the documents we received the documents from the structural engineer, from the construction engineer, and from Scott Hamburg, who is the project executive for the Lend-Lease construction. We have an affidavit, and also we have received the expenditure document, which shows over 90% of the total cost has been paid or committed to, and there aren't any open violations. So I have no additional comments. I think it's a very thorough submission. The only thing I would say the submission lacks is it did not provide the prior board resolution. And a question for our council, do we need a letter from Department of Buildings just for our file confirming that the permit was a lawful permit, even though the prior board had accepted?
I was going to say, presumably we had that in the BZY1.
Okay, so that's why we don't have to. Okay, thank you. Vice Chair Shibeta.
Thank you, Chair. I agree that they established that the permit was lawfully issued. I believe that the application has vested, and it did provide a very thorough explanation as to why there was a delay. Substantial construction is well established. Substantial expenditures were made and documented, and they also speak of, and we can presume mostly, about the substantial harm that if we don't grant this application would result in. So I'm satisfied with this application.
Yeah. Thank you. Commissioner Otley Brown?
I'm also satisfied with the application.
Commissioner Shetta?
Thank you, Chair. I have nothing further to add on this application.
Thank you. Commissioner Yoon?
Thank you. I also thought they didn't provide the resolution, but it's in a file that's compiled with all past resolutions and referenced cases. It's called BSA
Yeah,
precedent.
That's what I thought.
So,
yeah.
so they did submit that. The only thing I want to add, satisfied with the application, other than I noticed there's a stop work order as of January 8th. So if the applicant could just address that. But otherwise, I think the findings have been made and it was a thorough submission.
Okay, I take back. It was a super thorough submission because the resolution is there. I did not go all the way to the ground to that. So thank you. Any other comments? Okay, let's go to the next case.
Item number 15, 2023-75 BZY2, 750 East Chester Road, the Bronx. You said you were going to second call this tomorrow?
Yeah, we have to
Are you
second
gonna
call
make comments,
this.
though, today?
Yes, we have to second call this.
Okay.
It would be, so we will start our meeting, discussion tomorrow, first with the decision item that has been second called, followed
Okay.
by the Eastchester Road, and then we will resume with the rest of the zoning calendar.
Okay. So this concludes the review session for January 26, 2026. We will resume at, it's 11:19. Do you want to keep going or you want to wait 10 minutes?
Let's just
I
give
think
10.
11:30.
What is it now? 11:19?
11:19.
Yeah, let's resume at 11:30 just for the applicants to convene their team.
Okay.
Sounds great.
So ladies and gentlemen, we resume at 11:30 for the public hearing. Please log on to the Zoom. Instructions are on our website. Thank you.
We have all the commissioners.
Okay, Ms. Matias, you may proceed with today's public hearing.
Good morning. This is the New York City Board of Standards and Appeals public hearing for January 26, 2026. We'll begin with a special order calendar. It's continued hearing items, 11853BZ, Volume 3, 10657, 168th Street, Queens. This is
I've
East
let Mr. Corasanchi in to to join as a panel. As a panelist, I'm sorry.
Mhm.
Is there anybody else from your team, Mr. Corasanchi?
Mr. Kursanchi, do you want to unmute, please? At least bring your audio up in camera. There we go.
Okay,
Good. Let me swear you in. Is there anyone else with you?
no, I'm the only one.
Okay, raise your right hand. Do you affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth in your testimony before this board to respond honestly to board member questions?
Yes, I do.
State your name for the record and proceed to respond to the board's comments at review session.
He's a Corasanchi applicant for the application 11853BZ, 106-57, 160th Street in Queens, Jamaica.
Mr. Corasanchi, did you have a chance to listen to our review session and our comments?
Yes, good morning, Chair and Commissioners. I did have a chance to take notes, and I'm going to go over the notes and give you my response as I remember them. And if I miss anything, you could refresh my memory so I could respond to your questions. As far as the gate is concerned, there is a photo of the gate, which is the latest one, and it is shown on page A001, photo F. And I had asked the new owner of the property, and I had mentioned to them that the board needs that gate to be fixed. And this is the picture that he sent me, and he said they have repaired it and they have gotten rid of the overgrown vegetation.
Mr. Corasanchi, I'm looking at, thank you for pointing us to that gate. It definitely does not look any different from the submission that was made back in February. Oh, sorry, back in July. The gate still, there's no removal of any vegetation. The gate still seems to be buckled and off the hinge, and it is exactly the same view that we have from the initial submission that was made in July of 25.
Well, I will revisit the site. And I
Yes.
will meet with the landlord, the new landlord, and I will convey the board's suggestion that this gate, and to be honest with you, I agree with you 100%. They could do a better job. Even if they did fix it, they could do a better job. Although we got to understand that this gate is used twice a day. Once in the morning, they open it, once at night when they close it. However, it may not be appealing to the neighborhood. So we need to have this to look in a better condition than it is.
So I think I'll get to the reason why it's not appearing. The site really needs a lot of improvement, and it's partly because of overgrown vegetation that is making it difficult for the gate to swing open properly, and it's propping up, and structurally it probably is also failing because of that. Then there is excess, I see the photo that has been submitted that was initially submitted. I have a separate thing that says PDF, And that also shows lot of yeah, I mean, there is debris around the site. There is, if you look around the gate, along the rear lot line, there is a lot of material that is collected, which makes it difficult for the gate to swing open. While I see the photo G is B shows the site in pretty poor condition. Photo F shows the same thing. The only one that shows some cleanup is photo G, but I'm not sure where that photo is taken, and I don't see the gate around it.
Photo G, I'm sorry, Chair. The photo G is taken from inside the lot, looking towards 107th Avenue, looking towards the gate, which the street that you see is 107th Avenue.
Right. I mean, I still see debris around the edge of the property. So the site needs to be cleaned up, and a lot of the overgrown element is affecting the fence. And so this is a responsibility of the property owner, not the tenant.
Right.
While I have this up, we also are missing photos that look in this direction. Let's see. Well, towards the walk-in coolers and towards the whole rear area, which we had asked for before.
Yeah. If I may, the two containers that you see over there are the containers that there was equipment, supermarket equipment left behind from the previous owner. And they have these containers there to place those equipments inside these containers for the previous owner to take them away, to cart them away. That's where the containers come from. Although you see on the plans, on page, for example, on page A0, the same page to the left, you see a series of walk-in coolers. Those coolers are not working. In other words, they can be removed at any time. And this is what the new landlord mentioned to me, that if need to, they could remove those. Although, if you look at the previous submitted plans from 2012, we did have a receiving area, which provided a walk-in cooler for retail store number 1. And between the back of this retail store number 1 in the open space and the adjacent residential neighbor, there was a wall built. I don't know what kind of a material, but that is remained, which is also, I believe, has a fence from the residence side of it. And
Excuse me a second, 1 second.
Recording in
Commissioner Yoon,
progress.
are you frozen?
I'm sorry.
Commissioner Yoon looks frozen on her screen. Is there a problem?
Commissioner Yoon?
I've joined on a separate computer, so I'm here, but yes, my computer froze, so I am,
Okay, I just want
I'm
to make sure
here.
she's hearing what he's saying. Okay.
yes, thank you. I am, thank you.
Go ahead, continue, Mr. Kurasanchi. I apologize for the interruption.
Eva, time to be on the Zoom.
No, Jella,
Tell us. Mute.
Jella, please mute.
Okay. If I may?
Go ahead,
Yes.
Mr. Kurasanchi.
Okay. So they did have a receiving area. Now they do have a receiving area with a few walk-in coolers. And I do not believe they are from the new supermarket. They are from previous ones over the past 10 years. Since 2012, they might have been placed over there. And if the board has an issue with them, because these are temporary structures, permitted obstructions in open space, but if they want them to be removed, the landlord is willing to have them removed.
Well, if they're not going to be used, it seems from what you're saying that the walk-in coolers are not working and will not be used. If they're not going to be used, then they should be removed.
Well, Chair, these walk-in coolers are insulated panels. And when I say it's not being used, because the condensers and compressors and the evaporators are not being used. However, these rooms, let's say somebody comes and let's say the supermarket has a need for it, all they have to do is replace the compressor and condenser and evaporator, and they can use them. But if the board has objection to having them over there, like I said, the landlord is willing to dismantle them and remove them.
Well, you need to provide a justification. First of all, if these are permitted obstruction, you need to establish that these are permitted obstructions. And the next question is, are these, Mr. Costanza, can your question wait, or do you need to add?
Yeah, no, please finish your thought.
So you need to establish that is this if the layout as shown in the revised plan, is this contrary to the prior board's grant? And if this is a permitted obstruction, based on what? Because this is a zoning district which is R4, which does not permit commercial use. And I'm not sure this kind of obstruction would be permitted. So you need to go through your argument more thoroughly and establish what would make this a permitted obstruction in a zoning district where a commercial use is not permitted. And if it is not, then what waivers would you need to keep them? And if you are going to keep them, these should not be abandoned structures that are falling in disrepair and used only when it's needed, which will be an eyesore and a nuisance for the community. Not to mention that these could become a place for rodents and others to infest. So if you need it, use it. If not, then remove it.
I just want to add, there's a lot of maybes in this conversation, and they also haven't responded to some questions. One of them was by Commissioner Yoon, who said that she wanted photographs of the rear. You went into great conversations about what's impacting the rear, the coolers and the storage, but you haven't committed to giving those photos. It's almost as if this needs like an operational plan, so we know what things are going to be used for and when and why. Otherwise, we just have a lot of maybes, and I don't think that satisfies the board's findings.
I agree with you, Commissioner, and I will bring it to the new owner's attention that they have to remove those containers as well as all these walk-in coolers, and keep the place at the rear yard in good, clean condition. And I will submit the photos.
You need to submit the photos and revise the plans.
And revise
Again, as I'm saying, is that if your groceries if the tenant is going to use it, you need to then you need to evaluate that, and then if that requires amendment, do so. But that is your decision based on your that's the decision of your client, and you need to advise your client accordingly and proceed accordingly.
Chair, you raise a good question about this commercial use in the R4 zoning, and on the previous plans which were submitted in 2012, we have a note. It says permitted obstruction. That's the receiving area, and we have it permitted obstruction as per ZR 33-23B. To be honest with you, I don't remember what the section of the zoning is, but it was noted on the plan and it was approved in 2012. So I will go back and revisit that section of the zoning, and as you suggested.
Well, we cannot undo what the prior board had granted. They may have granted an obstruction, assuming if this was a commercial zone, what kind of permitted obstruction would be granted, but what you're proposing exceeds that area. So that means you're increasing the degree of the non-compliance that the board had granted.
Right. So what I'm trying to say is that if the new supermarket says that, you know what, I need a space for my cooler for my receiving area, then it should be as previously approved, the size and the square footage of what was approved previously, so they could get rid of the ones which are in addition to what was approved.
Yes.
We still have
Mr.
Mr. Paterka.
Costanza?
No, thank you, Madam Chair. I just want to add procedurally, and you're correct, but an application under 11.4.12 to enlarge the floor, this is a pre-1961. I don't believe was applied for here. And you're correct. If the wish is to legalize this, it would require an amendment pursuant to 11.4.12. The applicant would have to research from 1961 till now, was 11.4.12 ever exercised? We will need a DOB objection and the requisite fees for the filing. So we're happy offline to speak to the applicant, just to provide them the guidance, but it's not that simple as just providing an updated plan and statement.
Thank you, Mr. Costanza, for clarifying that. Okay. Any question, any additional comments, Vice Chair Srivatsa? Oh, sorry. Yeah. Then let's go to Commissioner. Do you have any statements? Or
I think the only thing I want to add, oh, can you hear me?
yes.
Okay. Is that in the next submission, make it very clear how trucks will be accessing the back of this area and where loading operations will take place. Because right now it's difficult to understand if there's even a path back there. And so between photos and also more documentation on the plans showing how the deliveries and loading from the rear actually occur.
Yeah, I think once the containers are removed and the place is cleaned up in the back with the new photos, you should be able to see clearly how the deliveries are made from from that rear access to the three retail stores.
You want this, you want the work done before the grant, before any approvals, correct, Madam Chair?
We're not going to close this, so
Right.
it shall remain open. So you need to make the submission.
Right now, there was if I may continue,
Mm-hmm.
there was a mention about construction having been built in the rear and exceeding the FAR, but this is these are all temporary structures. Like we said, they will be removed, and since 2012 and previous years, there has not been any construction or extensions in the rear of the building that requires or shows that the FAR has been exceeded.
Okay. Okay.
Now, if I may move on to, there was a mention about signage calculations.
Mhm.
And on the front elevation, I wrote on my drawings that the new signage to be filed with the DOB. And when the DOB reviews the signage application, they don't only just review for that one space, they review it for the entire lot. And for C1, there is, if I'm not mistaken, there's 150 square feet not to be exceeded. And they will see what store number 1, store number 2, store number 3, the breakdown of the signages. And if they add up the square footage, that should not exceed that 150 square feet, plus other things which pertains to obtaining a permit, the sign permit. However, that will be on the new occupants of store 1, the supermarket. And I will relay that message to the landlord to let them know that they have to have their own architect to file a sign application to be approved and permitted by DOB.
Okay. Has a note been added to the plan that the signage shall comply with the underlying zoning and shall be reviewed by DOB?
Yeah, I have it on,
Not underlying zoning, it would be, shall be approved pursuant to, C1 zoning district.
well, I have on the, right above the supermarket on page A200. It says, store number 1, new signage to comply with ZR 32-60. And that one shows that it says C1, but if you wish, I could make it more clear, but it's not up to me because that would be maybe by the new applicant for the signage to know that it has to comply with C1, and C1 only allows maximum of 150 square
Yeah.
feet.
Yeah, it's a C1. That needs to be very clearly outlined, because since the zoning does not have a commercial overlay, we need to specify which commercial overlay it needs to comply with.
I will make that clear on my drawing, that this has to comply with C1 zoning for signage.
Yeah.
And if I may continue with Commissioner Shera's comment about the ECB violations, how it's going to be resolved. There are 3 ECB violations. However, 2 of them are for the construction, general construction, and 1 with electrical. And there are 2 applications filed by others for electrical, which was permitted on 1/08/2026 under application number Q012-61726. And the general construction was filed, approved, and permitted under Q0121-6654 on 5/06/2025. And once their construction is done, they have to pay the proper the fees to ECB and have them removed, because with the open ECB violations, we will not be able to obtain the CFO.
Okay.
And as far as the fire department violation is concerned, I spoke to the chief fire department last time. We had a conversation with the board, and I called him directly myself. And the violation is not for having something done incorrectly. It was issued for not having the fire suppression system having been filed with the fire department. And he also recognizes that the fire department, the plan examiner, will not look at the plans if they don't have a valid CFO. For places that they do not have a CFO, and LNO will do it, but because this building has a CFO, therefore they need a valid CFO. I don't know how we're gonna solve that with not, because the CFO at this point is expired as of 2021, I believe. And the plan examiner looking at it is gonna say, well, the CFO is expired, and they're not gonna look at the plans. So unless board approves it in the future, this filing, and put some conditions that the fire department plans or application for fire suppression should be filed. It should be one of the conditions for approval, that they have to approve it. They have to submit it, and it has to be submitted and approved by the fire department.
Okay. Okay.
That's all I remember from the comments this morning. Unless you want me to clarify other things, I would be more than glad.
Commissioner Yoon, was this did it respond to the questions you were raised?
I think, yeah, this will all, we'll just be waiting for the next submission based on the
Yes.
comments we've had. Yeah.
Let's go to the, if anybody, does anybody have any other questions? Let's go to the public.
Ready? The case that we're currently discussing is 11853 BZ, Volume 3, 10657 160th Street, Queens. Should you wish to have comments on this application, dial 669-254-5252. At the prompt, you'll enter the webinar ID number 161-230-2643 and press the pound sign. At the next prompt, you will press the pound sign only. Once you're permitted in, you press *9 to raise your hand, *6 to unmute as you're calling in on the phone. And if you're in the Zoom room already and wish to participate, please raise your Zoom hand, which is the little hand at the bottom of your computer screen. Once you are recognized, you'll have 3 minutes in which to comment on this application.
How much time will you need, Mr. Kurasanchi, for you to make these improvements to the site and submissions? I think you will need at least 2 months. We are in winter, deep winter.
I was just about to say, I agree with you. Yeah, with this weather that you're having, it's not going to be easy to work, especially on the gate or removal of those items in the rear of the building. So I would say, if it's okay, I would request 3 months time to come back with the board with good news.
Okay.
Okay.
So I would say best would be follow up once you're able to make the improvement, find a time to do the improvements, and then notify our project manager, and we will schedule a hearing based on that.
That would be fine.
And
Thank you.
Carlo and I will discuss with Mr. Kurasanchi the alternatives about the
Yeah. Yes.
amendments and stuff. Yeah.
Yes. Thank you.
Okay, no one's raised their hands or called in.
Yep. Okay.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Kurasanchi.
Thank you. Have a good day, everyone. Bye-bye.
You too.
New cases, item number 12, 4499BZ, Volume 4, 194 Brighton Avenue, Staten Island.
I
Mr. Rampulla?
have led both Mr. Rampulla's to join as a panelist.
Good morning, all.
Morning. Are they together? Are you together or are you separated?
Anyone? Okay.
Oh, okay. Raise your right hands. Good morning, Mr. Mrs. Sorry, Mr. Rampoulas.
Not all.
Raise your right hand. Do you affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth in your testimony before this board, and to respond honestly to the board member questions?
I do.
Okay, state your name for the record and proceed to respond to the board's comments and review session, whoever is the lead.
Peter Rampulla, on behalf of the applicant, we attended the review session this morning, and to address the two bigger points right from RIP, the photos. So when our client had called us for the application to proceed with filing with the board, he had also noted that he wanted to clean up the site and repave the asphalt, as well as fix some of the conditions with the sidewalk. So the day that those pictures are taken are the day that he concluded all of that work, which explains why it is immaculate and vacant and doesn't look like it's been in use. I personally went and took those pictures.
Okay.
And at that time, it escaped me that there was no striping. So I do apologize about that, and I will make sure that that is something that we rectify in the sense of actual striping and then redoing the photos to show what the condition is. And in addition to your comment, Chair, about the 400-foot radius diagram, as well as the existing conditions, we did attend the public review session on the 8th, and we did at least, update those documents, and they were submitted via Dropbox on the date of the submission deadline on the 8th. Maybe it was something having to deal with a naming, because we submitted it and then _revision REV at the end of it. So apologies to me if it was the same thing.
I downloaded everything that was there on a SharePoint, and I didn't see. The latest submission I have is December 4th.
Okay,
This is a type 2 checklist. I don't have, when I downloaded the document, I didn't receive anything beyond that. And the last download I did was last Thursday.
Understood. We did submit on the 8th. But your comments do still stand, and that is something that we will address in the next submission in reference to the signage note for the C1 district. Clearly, obviously showing parking spaces, for the vehicles awaiting service, existing lighting poles, the compliance note for prior board conditions, a signing analysis. I understand that it was just submitted for Brighton. I will also submit one for Sumner Place as well, because there's 2 street frontages. Removing the proposed curb cut note. Chair, I think
And
those,
has the curb cut dimension been reduced from 40 to 30?
yes. If you look on, I would also just double check to make sure from a view perspective. I know that the work had been done, but if you go on to Google Earth, there's a 2007 to 2012 jump. And if you look, the prior BSA approval and then application that was filed with the Department of Buildings, you'll see that from 2007, it is 40 feet. And then when it jumps to 2012, it shows 30.
Okay. I don't know if I'll be able to get to it so quickly, but
I do have it up if you would like.
Bring it up, Pete.
sure.
Give me 1 second. Okay, can everyone see my screen?
Yep.
Okay, so 2012, 2012, this is the curb cut in question.
Mhm.
And if you watch right here, this is where it really reduces. I go up here to September 2007. It does move, but you can see that this is where the excess for the 40 was right here.
And it has been moved back to 30.
Correct.
Do you have the latest one from 2025?
Yeah,
Right,
Mr. Rampolla, can you just show the screen you just had on? Thank you.
Sure. I'm sorry, Mr. Costanzo, you mean 2012 or 2007?
The 2012, I believe that's what we're looking at now.
Yeah, sure. 2012. Yes. You can see it right here.
I think my question, because I was looking at the photos that's been submitted, and from the photos, it was not very clear that that curb cut was restored. No, actually, I'm looking at view 12. I think the view 12, it does seem it may have been restored. Okay, yeah.
We'll resubmit new photos, Chair.
Yes.
of the
Yeah,
curb cut.
I think view 12, I think shows that the curb cut has been restored. But yeah, if you could just verify that, that would be helpful. Thank you.
Definitely, of course. And Commissioner Otley Brown, I was feverishly going through any interior or internal correspondence we had to discuss or what had happened with the parking and why it showed 7. The only thing I can come to is my apologies when we switched from the old form to the new form and then updating the, City of Yes chapters. It looked like for whatever reason it moved from 5 to 7. So that is something that I will address and change within the form and resubmit.
Okay. Okay, so parking count will be revised, and so it is 7.
It's 5. It is 5.
Oh.
Yes.
All right, and you also did you also submit in your latest submission the compliance chart showing compliance with all the prior grants?
I didn't, not a chart, no. So that will be updated as well.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure why I did not receive the submission, and I'm looking at the latest thing, and
I don't see one in the folder. It's not there, so.
so something happened. So who's the project manager for this? Jeline, please look into the submission portfolio and see if
yeah, I'll do that. Thank you. It's not in our submissions. Did you send it to submit or just to me?
No, I sent it to submit.
Okay, I'll check.
Yes, Madam Chair.
Yeah, Go ahead.
Yeah, we'll look into what might have happened and submit, but I think with the comments today and the clarification, a subsequent submission should cover everything, but we will check.
Yeah, please do, and please go through our recording. I'm again, I apologize what the confusion was, but you can understand that we were all working off an incomplete set of documents.
Most definitely. No apologies needed.
All right, how much time, any questions or comments? Let's go to the public. And community board voted on this, yes.
Why is the time? Oh, time when I need it. Sorry. Okay, the case that we're currently discussing is 4499 BZ Volume 4, 194 Brighton Avenue, Staten Island. Should you wish to comment on this application, please dial 669-254-5252. At the prompt, you'll enter the Weber ID number 161-230-2643 and press the pound sign. At the next prompt, press the pound sign only. Once you're permitted in, press star 9 to raise your hand, star 6 to unmute if you're calling in on the phone. And if you're in the Zoom room already, please raise your Zoom hand, which is the little hands at the bottom of your computer screen. Once you're recognized, you will have 3 minutes in which to comment.
How much time will you need, Mr. Rampola?
Sorry, I would say by the end of February. But if this weather keeps persisting the way that it is, or the way that we've had for the past couple of days, and what this coming weekend is looking like, I'm not sure they'll be able to stripe. So can we say the end of February? And if weather persists in this manner, we can reach out to the board.
Absolutely, yeah, that sounds fine.
Thank you.
Come on. A few more seconds.
So that's time for the public.
Yes. Okay. So we're continuing this?
Well, yes, because the application is still incomplete.
Yes.
Okay.
Unfortunately, because of that technical glitch.
Okay.
I would suggest in future, just give a heads up to the project manager and make sure that they have received it. It's really not in anybody's control, but at least you can be absolutely sure that we have all received the package.
Understood. Will do.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay, take care.
Item number 13, 2019 168A, Volume 2, 140 Fulton Street, Manhattan. This is Jeff Mulligan.
This would be, I think, Jeff Mulligan.
Yeah, Jeff Mulligan.
Oh, I think he has already joined as a panelist. Yeah.
Is he? Oh, there he is. Okay.
Jeff, anyone here with you?
Good afternoon. Yes, John Valones from Rivington Company.
Okay. As this is an appeals case, correct, Vice Counsel, he doesn't have to be sworn in.
Correct.
Okay, please state your name for the record and proceed to respond to the board's comments.
Oh, no, hold on. Is this an appeals case?
It's, well, it's a actually it's a special order. Maybe we just swear him in. Raise your
Yeah.
hand, just to cover it. It is a special.
It's under SOC.
Yeah. Do you affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth in your testimony before this board, to respond only to the board member questions?
Yes.
Okay, please state your name for the record and proceed to respond to the board's comments.
Jeff Mulligan from HSF Kramer, joined by John Valones from Rivington Company. Good afternoon, Chair and Commissioners. We listened to your comments at the review session. We certainly intend to complete construction within 4 years, but we also support the board's certainly support the board's proposal to remove the time limit on obtaining the CO in the event that more time is needed, given the complexities of the site.
Okay. All right. Any questions or comments from the commissioners for the applicant team? All right. Thank you for the thorough submission. Let's go to the public.
The case that we're currently discussing is 2019-1868A, Volume 2, 140 Fulton Street, Manhattan. Should you wish to comment in this application, dial 669-254-5252. At the prompt, you'll enter the Weber ID number 161-230-2643 and press the pound sign. At the next prompt, you'll press the pound sign only. Once you're permitted in, you'll press *9 to raise your hand, *6 to unmute if you're calling in on the phone. And if you're in the Zoom room already, please raise your Zoom hand, which is the little hands at the bottom of the computer screen. Once you have been recognized, you'll have 3 minutes in which to comment.
Yeah, I don't think we have any submission that we need, and I am going to recommend that we close and schedule this for decision. We will let you know of the decision date as soon as possible.
Ooh, it's annoying.
Yeah, I don't expect any one of the members who are on our attendee list will be calling in to speak on behalf or against this application.
I don't either.
Okay, do you want to make a motion or?
Yeah, motion to close.
Chair Shanda,
Aye.
Vice Chair Shabeta,
Aye.
Commissioner Otley Brown,
Aye.
Commissioner Sheta,
Aye.
Commissioner Yoon.
Aye.
Mr. Mulligan, we'll let you know when we schedule this for decision. Hopefully, it will be one of the 2 February hearings.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. Stay
Thank you.
warm, everyone.
You too. Take care.
Everyone.
Bye.
Appeals calendar. New cases, item number 14, 2023-25 BZY, Volume 2, 36 West 66th Street, Manhattan. This is David
This would be Mr. Schnackenberg. Oh,
Yeah,
he is here?
Yeah, Schnackenberg, there he is.
Yeah.
No, I
Is there
sent you-
anyone else from your team, Mr. Schnackenberg?
I don't believe so. We only had the one question to respond to, and I think I can handle it.
Okay.
Yeah, I forwarded his email to everyone. So.
Oh, okay.
But state your name for the record and proceed to respond to the board's comments.
Sure. David Schnackenberg, Free Frank Harris Schreiber Jacobson, LLP, for the applicant. And good morning, everybody. Hope you're all relatively warm and not snowed in somewhere unpleasant. We heard your comments this morning, and Commissioner Yoon, I was not aware that there was a stop work order issued, but we were able to check. It was issued on January 8th. DOB now still shows the partial stop work order, but when we went to the BIS folder, we pulled the DOB objection, and it shows or DOB complaint overview, and it shows that the partial stop work order complaint has been resolved. I don't know process-wise how long it takes, whether it has been lifted or whether it takes additional time to be lifted. This could just be a DOB now not being synced thing. I'm not I'm not particularly knowledgeable about this. We've reached out to the project team, and I'm sure their expediter will get back to me, but I haven't heard from him yet. I can pull up the complaint overview now if everyone's okay with that, just to show you.
Sure.
And Ms. Matias, thank you. I know that email came in very, very last minute, so thank you for forwarding it. But here's the stop work order that was issued on January 8th. It appears to be for defective or leaking plumbing, and it shows that the complaint is resolved. I don't have more information than that. As soon as I do, I'll certainly send a submission, but I think this is probably means that we've resolved the stop work order and it just hasn't been reflected on DOB now.
Yeah, no, that's great. Thank you. I was just curious about it. And so obviously it being resolved so quickly is also a good sign. So thank you for providing that. I have nothing further to add.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Schnackenberg, for clarifying that. Any other questions or comments? If not, let's go to the public.
The case that we're currently, thank you, Jella. The case that we're currently discussing is 2023-25 BZY Volume 2, 36 West 66th Street, Manhattan. Should you wish to comment on this application, dial 669-254-5252. At the prompt, you'll enter the webinar ID number 161-230-2643 and press the pound sign. At the next prompt, you'll press the pound sign only. Once you're permitted in, you'll press star 9 to raise your hand, star 6 to unmute as you're calling in on the phone. And if you're in the Zoom room already, please raise your Zoom hand, which is the little hand at the bottom of your computer screen. Once you are recognized, you'll have 3 minutes in which to comment in this application. It is snowing again? Oy.
Is it?
Yeah, it's snowing here in Bay Ridge.
Okay. I don't think there is any new submission that is needed. I'm going to recommend we close it and we schedule it for the earliest decision, which would be either of the month of February.
So no submission? Was there a typo or something?
Oh,
Is it a typo somewhere?
That was the last case.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's all right.
I stand corrected.
And
sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, the board resolution was, as Commissioner Yoon pointed out, it was at the last page of our BSA precedent.
Page, yeah.
Yeah, I think I may have run out of patience as I was scrolling.
Sorry about that. I should put the newest one at the top, which is something that I'll do going forward. Forgive me.
Okay.
The no submission. Okay. No one raised their hands, then we'll call them.
Yeah. Okay.
You ready? So do we want to
close and schedule it for one of the 2 February decisions?
Okay. Chair Shanda?
Aye.
Vice Chair Shabeta?
Aye.
Commissioner Otley Brown?
Aye.
Commissioner Sheta?
Aye.
Commissioner Yoon?
Aye.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Schnackenberg.
Thanks, everybody.
Stay
warm.
out of snow.
Item number 15, 2023-75 BZY, Volume 2, 1750 East Chester Road, the Bronx.
This would be, this is going to be second called on Tuesday.
Yes. So, what's Bonnie Rose? No,
Bonnie's with
Bonnie,
Jay's
those
office.
cases are on for tomorrow.
Yeah.
Jay Goldstein's cases are on for tomorrow.
Right. So we have 2 cases that would be second called tomorrow. The first item that would be second called is a decision item. I'm trying to scroll through my notes as to which one. Uh, 1681-1683 42nd Street, Brooklyn. BSA case number 2025-11BZ, and the new appeals case which is 1750 Eastchester Road, Bronx, case number 2023-75BZY2.
Okay.
Okay.
So no other further questions and no other cases to be discussed. This concludes the public hearing for January 20.
And wait,
Wait,
and
would I miss something?
tomorrow.
And tomorrow, the hearing also will be conducted remotely.
So ladies and
And we-
gentlemen, as you, for the commissioner, the January 27th, 2026 hearing will be fully remote, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we will proceed
it-
as scheduled at 10 a.m.
Yes, we will start at 10 a.m. Okay. Thank you all. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Council Vine.
Thank you.
Okay.